Hello and thanks for staying with us. Custom intercept drugs worth 4.1 billion naira in Lagos. For some customs report, Oyo and Osun command seize goods worth millions of naira for smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. Plus more report. I am Egiseme Ejine. Stay tuned. The Nigerian Customs Service is set to establish a technical working group to implement the Memorandum of Understanding of the World Customs Organization and World Health Organization on smooth clearance of medical goods without delay at the port. The Controller General of Customs made this known when he visited Customs Training School in Lagos. He was welcomed by quarter guards of the Nigerian Customs Service. At the round-table conference, he met with health sector operators for the first time in the service, as directed by Mr. President. The CG acknowledged the importance of the health sector in Nigeria. He speaks on a number of issues.
Define what terms of reference we are going to give to because the Controller General of Customs cannot delegate the powers that he does not have. So all those things that within the purview, within the power that this customs can exercise, I would be glad for us to have a technical working group. And the first low-hanging fruit for us is to come up with a specific clearance procedure for medicaments and things that are associated with the life-saving equipment. Now, things that has to do with codes and exemptions. Codes are universally agreed. I was trying to explain why we were still in the room. We are signatories to the harmonized system on classification. It's the same everywhere. From the example that Dr. Ikena showed, we saw that pharmaceuticals are all under Chapter 30. Now, the use of the word upgrade, we are Nigerians, and we may understand that word in different ways. I really don't have a clear understanding of what upgrade means. It looks so simple. You are in economy, you are upgraded to business class, you enjoy more concession. From there, you go to first class. If this is what we are talking about, codes, I would say they are not feasible in Nigeria. HS codes are determined by all the contracting parties. The IAT that you talked about, of course, we can make provisions for specific IATs, and we all have understanding. Our brother from finance, we talked about the need for us to also protect the local industry that is involved in manufacture of those things. So, and that's why the IAT comes, that for us in Nigeria, we are going to allow this with this kind of tariff duty or this particular kind of structure. The final thing that I talked about is this. All the case studies that you talked about in WCO are originated by members, by member customs administrations. Now, it will also be, these case studies are also a product of consultations, this kind of consultations that we are having. So if there are specific issues that is of concern to this sector, we will meet. We will agree on those things. And it's not just HFN. Ministry of Finance will be there. Manufacturers will be there. It will be something that we can say averagely address every concern about Nigeria.
But the president of HFNN expresses happiness for the meeting, saying that the health sector is very grateful to Mr. President.
Its importance to the state, the health of the nation, the health of people, healthcare really ranks high. And as such, a lot of our work has to do with customs, because as you know, between 90 and 95% of all the things that we use are brought in. So customs is key. Customs is key in so many ways. apart from helping us bring it in, helping us manage the cost of bringing it in. Because ultimately, those are the two biggest areas. There are many different areas. Our CG has spoken already about counterfeit and fake drugs, so I won't talk about that. But the two biggest areas are the speed at which it comes in, because often things need to come in, they deteriorate, there's so many challenges there. And then the other issue is the cost. Are we able to take advantage of some of the benefits that the country has given us? There's so many fiscal policies that have actually given reduced duties, zero VAT, etc., to the healthcare industry. Are we able to get that? These are some of the things that are in your hands, and so we are in your hands, because everything that we don't get passes on to the patient. So if the cost is high, it passes on to the patient. If the items deteriorate because of staying in the custom shed or demurrage or whatever, and they becoming ineffective, that again passes on to the patient.
The Nigerian Customs Service has warned some bonded terminal operators operating in the country to stay clear of drugs being imported through that terminal by any importer in the country. The Controller General of Customs gave the warning in Lagos, saying that any importer involved in consignment will be caught and be taken to court. The Nigerian Customs Service is now investigating the owner of the seized drugs worth over 4.1 billion naira seized at Tinkan Port Command. Speaking at the event, the CG of Customs noted that the collaboration effort of NDLA also resulted to the seizure of the consignment. He noted that the misuse and abuse of drugs, particularly cannabis, codeine, poses severe dangers to our society.
For yet another press conference, you will recall that in recent months, the service has reported a number of successfully executed interceptions and seizures of illicit drugs, arms and ammunition, illegal wildlife and petroleum products at various locations, representing a concerted effort to prevent illegal entry and exits into our country through diverse routes and means of conveyance. These interceptions have brought to light a concerning trend where criminals network and engage in collaborative attempts to subvert the competence of our agencies tasked with mitigating the trafficking of such illicit substances. I want to draw your attention to the fact that the misuse and abuse of drugs, particularly cannabis indica and codeine, pose very severe dangers to our society. Codeine is a restricted drug in Nigeria and has been widely abused, leading to devastating effects in our youth. This substance not only impairs the health and well-being of individuals, but also contributes to the rise in criminal activities. Cannabis indica similarly has become a significant concern, with its abuse leading to very serious mental health issues, addiction, and social problems.
He warned importers not to use our ports for importation of drugs and exportation of drugs in Nigeria.
We are pleased to provide you an update on yet another seizure of 2 containers of unwholesome pharmaceutical products and another 40-footer container of illicit psychotropic substances seized by the Tinkan Island Command of the Nigeria Customs Service. We are seeing all of these items here and across, and the details are as follows. 3 plastic drums containing several packets of cannabis indica, 46 bags of 2,144 packets of cannabis indica, all weighing 1,072 kilograms.
It was conducted around the seizure by the area controller in charge of the port. You are watching the program Customs Report. The Oyo and Osun Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has collected 6.3 billion naira in the month of May 2024. According to the area controller, he said that the first 5 months, the command generated 30.7 billion naira, representing 5.2% increase from the 29.2 billion naira generated in the same period in 2023.
As you all know, as custom officers, whether you like it or not, we are managers of the economy. We work in tandem with the economy. We all know that the economy is bad. We know what is the exchange rate of today. When the budget was being envisaged, they envisaged that the exchange rate will be 800 naira to $1. We all know that the exchange rate today is about 1.4 or 1.5. So the economy is in a very precarious situation. And they also plan that the production of oil every day should be 1.78 every day. But today, it's about 1.23. So you see that the economy is in a very precarious situation. And as custom officers, we should all work hard to make sure that we assist the federal government in mitigating these economic problems that we have. So that is the job of every custom officer, that you must engage in revenue generation.
He said that improved technology has made the command processes and procedures easier and faster. He stated further that advanced technology solutions such as Nigerian Customs Service has enhanced transparency and further boosts the nation's revenue collection.
This is also one of our task issues for the month. We have about 600 bags of this 50 kg rice. As you are aware, the federal government banned this rice in order to encourage our local production. Nigeria is the largest producer of rice in Africa, followed by Tanzania, Madagascar, and Egypt. And the federal government has decided that these factories should be kept in operation. And it will not be kept in operation when we allow fragrant importation of this rice from across our border. So we have a mandate to be seizing this rice. And since I reported here in September, we have seized humongous numbers of bags of rice. And when you convert this into trailer load, this is about 1 trailer load of rice that we see within 1 month. The whole idea that we are telling them that Oyo Osun is not a fertile ground for illegal importation of rice, so that our factories will remain in operation. And when it remains in operation, and when it is in production, more people will be employed. It will be good for us, it will be good for our economy.
He also said that the command intercepted cannabis, PMS, and other uncustomed goods from smugglers operating along the nation's borderline.
We seize a lot more, but because of the implementary nature of these products, when we seize, we auction deliberately in order to avoid fire outbreak. So what we have here, 274 kegs, 6,850 liters, including those ones we have auctioned. And it has a DD value of 5,521,500. We also sending the same message to these illegal exporters of the petroleum project that Oyo Osun will never be a better ground for them.
Operators of petroleum filling stations along the nation's borderline, whose facilities are used as smuggling, risk jail term, according to the Nigerian Customs Service. The national coordinator of the team said that in Abeokuta, Ogun State, he said that 5 petrol stations are already involved in the illegal sales of petroleum products outside the country.
Operators of petrol stations along the nation's borders, whose facilities are used as conduit for the smuggling of petroleum products, risk jail terms, as the Customs Service has threatened to take legal action against them. National Coordinator of Operation Whirlwind Team, Comptroller Hussein Ejibunu, who disclosed this in Abeokuta, said that at least 5 petrol stations were already involved in illegal sale of the product across the borders. According to him, no fewer than 26,950 liters of premium motor spirit worth 19 million naira have been intercepted by his team in the Zone A axis.
Just 2 weeks ago, the Nigeria Customs Service, ably led by Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, DSM, MFR, PSC Daga, in close collaboration with the National Security Advisor, set up Operation Whirlwind Team, in which I was appointed the National Coordinator. This initiative was conceived to put an end to the ever-growing monster of unwholesome illegal exportation of petroleum products. Competent and dedicated officers that make up the squad were drafted from various custom formations and given the prerequisite training before being dispatched to our 4 custom zones, A, B, C, and D.
He said 121 kegs of PMS of 25 liters each, equivalent to 3,025 liters conveyed in 2 cars, were intercepted along Badagry-Seme Road in Lagos State on the 31st of May 2024. The coordinator stated that all the petrol stations involved have been sealed up pending investigations with the NNDPRA on whether, in the first place, such stations have all the legal requirements to operate. He pointed out that the menace posed by the unpatriotic act of the saboteurs of the Nigerian economy cannot be overemphasized, hence the need for synergy and cooperation with other patriotic government agencies in the fight.
Meanwhile, as highlighted by the Comptroller General of Customs during his press briefing in Adamawa State, to appraise the activities of the squad so far, on Tuesday, 11th of June 2024, he said a combined total of 280,135 liters of fuel was intercepted in collaboration with other commands nationwide, valued at 195.5 million. The menace posed by unpatriotic act of these economic saboteurs on the Nigerian economy cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the need for synergy and cooperation with other patriotic government agencies in this fight. There is a huge distortion in the supply chain of petroleum products to designated states and filling stations due to diversion to neighboring countries. For Zone A axis, the team intercepted the following: 121 kegs of PMS of 25 liters each, equivalent to 3,025 liters, at Onyikonsola Global Concept along Badagry-Seme Road in Lagos State.
While stating that there is a huge distortion in the supply chain of petroleum products to designated states and filling stations due to diversion to neighboring countries, Ejibunu maintained that the establishment of the Operation Whirlwind is in order to put an end to the ever-growing monster of unwholesome illegal exportation of petroleum products. Competent and dedicated officers, he noted, were drafted to make up the squad from various customs formations and given the prerequisite training before being dispatched to the 4 customs zones.
100 kegs of PMS at 25 liters each, equivalent to 2,500 liters, at Kawuyan Resource Petroleum Nigeria Limited along Owode Aton Road in Ogun State, with means of conveyance 1 Toyota Camry with chassis number 40 IBE 3KX U672 540 on Saturday, 8 June 2024. Another 141 kegs of PMS at 25 liters each, equivalent to 6,025 liters, at Julanki Oil and Gas along Owode Ilaro Road in Ogun State, with 2 means of conveyance, 2 Toyota Avalon cars with chassis number 41BE 28 B7 2U 266 597 and 41 BF 28 B33 U29 8190 on Saturday, 8 June 2024.
Quoting the Comptroller General, he said a combined total of 280,135 liters of fuel was intercepted in collaboration with other commands in the last 2 weeks, adding that the seizure was valued at 195.5 million naira. Ejibunu, as optimistic as he has ever been, said moving forward, more success will be recorded by the team, taking into consideration the commitment of the Customs Management and the Office of the National Security Advisor to fine-tune certain areas for easy monitoring of distribution channel of petroleum products to the various states and filling stations. He sounded a warning to those perpetrating this dastardly act to desist or have themselves to blame.
As the Comptroller General of Customs, exactly a year ago, and approximately 3 weeks into the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I was appointed first in acting capacity by Mr. President as the Comptroller General of Customs of this agency. My appointment came during the nascent stage of the administration where policy directives were being fine-tuned to meet the expectations of the people. And as a kind of background, we recall that under the guidance of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Olawale Edu, Customs embarked on an initiative to align its responsibilities with Mr. President's Policy Advisory Document, PAD. In this regard, a total of 9 priority areas were highlighted to deliver immediate benefits within the administration's first 12 months. These areas were aligned under 4 core statutory responsibility of NCS, which were trade facilitation, revenue connection, protection of the society, and collaboration of the stakeholder, with our stakeholders. So the priorities as established by the President include the first ones under trade facilitation, transforming Nigeria into Africa's most efficient trading nation. 2, decongesting areas within 4 kilometers around the ports for cargo and railway use. 3, enforcing the presidential directive on 48-hour clearance of goods at seaports in line with Executive Order 001. Number 4, redefining performance measures of key government agencies to emphasize trade facilitation. 5, implementation of national single window. And 6, establishing dedicated seaports and airport export terminals with enhanced capacity and upgraded access roads. And secondly, under the revenue collection mandate of Nigeria Customs Service, the document declared a state of emergency in revenue generation and also undertake to review and restructure existing incentives, waivers, and tariffs to plug economic leakages and boost key sectors of the economy. And in the third area, that is the mandate of protection, the document also declared a state of emergency in national security. And the last one promised to promote strategic communication and engagement with all stakeholders, which we also prioritize. So these sets of priorities were further endorsed by the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy during the inaugural briefing with the Nigeria Customs Management Team and the Nigeria Customs Service Board. And following the finalization of the Presidential Priority Areas, PPA, in subsequent weeks, the service promptly realigns its operations to support at least 6 out of the 8 areas that fall within our traditional responsibilities. These areas include reforming the economy to foster sustained inclusive growth, strengthening national security to promote peace and prosperity, enforcing cross-border prohibition to achieve food security, prioritizing education, health, and social investment as pillars of national development, accelerating diversification through industrialization, digitalization, creative arts, manufacturing, and innovation, and finally, improving governance for effective service delivery. These priority areas have been incorporated with the identified priority areas of the PAD in developing strategies to pursue the Nigeria Customs Service statutory mandate under the overarching policy thrust of building upon previous successes, collaborating with strategic stakeholders, and deploying innovative solutions. This methodological approach was designed to achieve three basic objectives. The first is that we wanted to align NCS activities with the policy directives of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration as one of the critical and strategic agencies contributing to the realization of government's plan for Nigeria. B, we want to ensure that customs contributes effectively to the implementation of fiscal policy objectives under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance. And three, these objectives, we want to ensure that these objectives are achieved along with the set targets by the government based on customs statutory responsibilities.
Just before the end of this week's edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the siege of Nigerian Customs Service displayed drugs worth over 4.1 billion naira at Tinkan Customs Command in Lagos. For me, Igesemi Etinye, thanks for watching.